our reigning GSL champion. He is... That's right, Soulkey. And down here in the bottom right, it is a great Terran player who just got owned in game 1. He is... Okay, Alive from EG. So once again, thanks to all the wonderful people in the audience that are up so early in the morning. Normally, I don't even want to be awake yet, but here you are watching my crazy monologues. Don't worry, after this one, we're going to have only duos down here, so it's going to be a little bit more of a conversation. But for now, you're just going to have to watch me muse about these wonderful TVZ and ZVZ games that we're going to have. Doing Group A this morning down here. Of course, after this, it'll be TLO against Stefano. Yeah, but mostly anyone watching at home or in the studio, this is probably going to be mostly me talking about how Soulkey's playing too well. Alive is... I don't know what Alive is supposed to do here. If I'm Alive and I'm trying to make a plan, it's a tough one. Do you open up with like a really fast siege tank? Because Soulkey just showed that he will do such a quick Roach Bane that it's basically an all-in, but he does enough damage that he just transitions out of it. Like he's playing so fantastically. And you know, I've been talking with a lot of pros about this recently. Like Terrans have become so unbelievably greedy with the double engineering bay and the 3 command center. We saw that from Alive, and just as he was making all of that, which of course none of that is units, Soulkey came in with that attack and was able to just dismantle him. So does Alive go not greedy play? Because if he goes not greedy play, Soulkey can get into his own form of greed. You know, you can open, let's say he opens with the Roach Warren, it gets scouted, and Alive goes super turtle mode. You don't actually have to make the roaches. Like, he could sit there and say, okay, I spent that money on Roach Warren, you're going to over-defend, you're going to make siege tanks and things. I'm going to go into Mutiling Bane, and you're going to have a really hard time. You know, especially with the new changes to the Mutalisk, siege tank-based play is not actually as good as it was in Wings of Liberty. So, again, I'm not sure what Alive is supposed to do here. Like, maybe... you know, the thing is, even when I was going to say maybe go for a Hellbat drop, but... even when Innovation was trying to go for Hellbat drops, Soulkey really didn't have much of an issue against it. He scouts extremely well, and in fact, he already has his Overlords getting into position so that he can't be fooled. He has one that's in the little crevice between the main and the natural at the bottom, and then he has one above the main. And with those two, he can get full scouting information on how much gas you're getting, and that's all he needs to defend correctly. And in fact, at this moment, he sees the bottom gas being taken, and he's going right in to see the top gas. And there you go. He sees that it's 2 gases before 3 command centers, and that's literally all the information that he needs to get really turtly. Like, he is going to end up either going extra queens or throwing down a Roach Warren. He's already getting the speed, which is good. But between the extra queens and the Roach Warren, that's his choice. He just needs one of them because something a bit more tech-heavy should be coming at him. But actually, this is kind of interesting as well. The engineering bay coming up this early. This is really a little bit tricky because he's throwing up a couple racks as well. Now, normally with those 2 gases, it'll be the Terran going into like a Hellbat drop. And in fact, as you can see, he sees the 2 gases, but not the engineering bay. But it'll normally be him going into like a Hellbat drop or maybe 2 Factory Hellions, something like that. But this looks like it might be like a quick +1 and a lot of Marines in there, which is a little bit less common. So has the potential to catch Soulkey off guard a little bit. And because he's getting so many units earlier on, if Soulkey goes for one of his busts with Roaches and Banes, it's not going to be as effective. So another scout, Soulkey realizing he wants to really know what's going on. Now that he sees eBay, everything I just said you can throw out the window because once again he knows absolutely everything. He's going to know that there's a couple more barracks behind. He saw only one, but you don't get that quick of an eBay to do a 2 barracks timing push. So he's grabbing his double evolution chamber to make sure if this goes late game, he's going to be fine and be able to keep up with upgrades. And he's also getting that Baneling Nest, so he's going to have a lot of Lings and plenty of Banes, and that's basically what he needs. The Lings will keep everything kind of in place, and the Banelings will hit all the Marines. That's the plan, at least. Now, the Overlord just coming in once again. I love how much Soulkey scouts. He spends so much money and so much time scouting. This is why he is the GSL champion. He doesn't want to play with half information and guess and then get caught off guard and lose a match that he probably should win. So he's in there non-stop giving up Overlords. It's much better to give up a 100 mineral Overlord that's planned so that you never get supply blocked than to have him come up with unit composition you're not ready for and have to way overspend trying to defend it and maybe lose extra drones, lose extra units that weren't as good against that army that was coming, which you could have scouted for a 100 mineral Overlord, which you prepared for already. So everything about Soulkey's plan's pretty darn good, and Alive is playing well. He's trying to mix it up. He's trying to do some fresh, different tactics we don't see as often to catch Soulkey off guard, but again, that's exactly what he's preparing for, is something that could catch him off guard. So we do have this move out, kind of an interesting one. Couple Widow Mines, 4 Hellions. Those are the factory units. Then he just has Stim finishing up here, and a good amount of Marines and Marauders. He also has that +1 attack, of course, and that's going to change the math quite a bit because Stim Marines have the highest damage output that there is. So that +1 makes a huge difference with how quickly they attack. Now this is kind of cool. Look at this drop going on right now. Caught him off guard very well, and look at that, the Widow Mine going down, and he unloads before the Zerglings get up, so that is a big deal. The Baneling's coming up. Now he just has to pick up against these. It's just coming in too quick. Some nice targeting. Doesn't lose too much. That was a pretty effective drop overall. But, ooh, Soulkey with this little counter run in. A good split. That was a pretty darn good split. He ended up killing a total of 9 SCVs, which is pretty decent for it, though. Definitely could have done more damage if Alive was on top of things, though. Now he's continuing to push in here. No Baneling speed yet. Now this is the point where he can possibly do a lot of damage. But again, as mentioned previously, notice how the Lings stop everything from running away and then the Banelings connect. That's exactly what he needed to do against when he saw the Engineering Bay. He knew there'd be a lot of Marines coming in. You just slow everything down, keep it in place, the Banelings hit, and the attack is over. So Soulkey at this point has dealt with this just basically just right. And in fact, he dealt with it. This is kind of what like, I used to talk a lot with coaches in Starcraft 1, and there was one that explained to me why Jaedong he thought was so good. And the thing is, he could theorize everything that Jaedong should do to stop what a Terran was doing. And then Jaedong would do all that, and then one more thing that even some of the best coaches in the world couldn't really think of. It was this extra thing, and it would be things like what we just saw from Soulkey, where it's like, okay, he's doing these things to stop this, and then also he runs in 5 Banelings to do some economic damage. And it's like, look at that, he's doing like absolutely more than other Zergs would in this situation. So now we see it kind of stabilizing a little bit more. Now Alive's in a much better spot than last game. We do see the burrow going up, Mutalisks as well, and 2-2. Now, Alive, this third base is a little bit of an interesting choice for me. And, well, hold on, we'll take a look at this attack. It doesn't look like anything's, yeah. He's going to have to stop that really soon because the Mutas are out. But he is going for a drop here, and in fact, sees the Mutas and wants to hightail it out of there. He has to be very careful about this because it's not too hard for the Mutalisks to cover everything here. But normally on Belshire Vestige, or I guess it's becoming more normal that we see the third base be on the right-hand side of the map here towards the bottom for Terran, if you look at the mini-map there. And that's so that you can actually push out towards the Zerg 4th base. Now look at the 4th base location that Soulkey's taking. It's on the right-hand side of the map, kind of below where his 3rd is. Now, if Alive takes that other base as a 3rd, he can do a rally push. He can just rally out of his barracks, all his units straight across his expansion, which gives it defense because he always has units in the area, and attack towards the 4th base. So it's defensive and aggressive at the same time. But instead he's expanded over here, and as we see, he has to run units all the way over there and then move them back up. So all these SCVs kind of out of position because this isn't a natural place for his army to stand, and Soulkey's punishing him for that right away. So Alive is trying to get things done, but Soulkey is dismantling every single choice that Alive makes. And Alive is literally a champion player. He's won IPL before, he's been in Code S countless times, a really top-end player, but we can watch Soulkey pick apart every little tiny detail that isn't perfect. But yeah, that 3rd base area is... It's kind of weird for him to take in this situation. It's a nice hit, but not big enough to actually change the game at this point. If he was completely clumped up and there were 2, maybe that starts to change things because drops become more effective, but it doesn't look like it. Now, that was an Overlord that just died, so Soulkey knows he's going back over to take that 3rd base again, and the thing is, bottom left is the most strategically insignificant area of the map, so... Again, I'm not really liking his command center going over there, but he's already taken so much damage that even if he went to the other location, I'm not completely sure it would end up working out against the caliber of Soulkey. Now, after dealing all that damage, laying the Baneling landmines, very intelligent indeed. If he micros back onto that, he's going to be very sad. Ooh, almost. Alive, just trying to get cost efficient anywhere he can, but the wind is basically out of his sails at this moment. After that 3rd base had to lift off, if you have to lift that even one time, it gets pretty hard. But he didn't just have to lift it, he lost a lot of SCVs. And he's just producing Marine Medevac Widowmine right now, which, while good, is Soulkey with a big 50 supply-ish advantage. And he's sitting on creep on high ground right now. Like, he's not overextending at even one moment here. Now, this is Alive's one real chance here. He's doing a big drop here, but that is a lot of links coming now. This is where he's probably going to want to push forward further. But, no, he's actually just kind of rallying more units into his army. See, the thing is, he split up Soulkey's army there. So, if he had pushed forward, he would have had a similar supply in the actual battle. But the mutas do go back, clean that up. He is trying to drop again. And there you go. These are the type of moves he needs right there. He needs those Widow Mines to be as effective as possible. And he's starting to get a little bit cost efficient, which is nice. But there is a much bigger economy right now for Soulkey. This drop going to be a little bit less than effective, but the thing is, when he's doing these drops, the drops at this point with that many mutas out are to draw the mutas away. Oh god, this could be gross. Ouch. Well, at this point, I think I can pretty much declare that Alive is not going to be taking this game, nor this series. Soulkey has done everything just so completely right. But, yeah, this is pretty brutal, guys. We should be seeing a GG pretty soon. I mean, Alive may stay a little bit longer, but this is entirely too much damage. He's down to 0 medevacs. I could take over the controls for Soulkey at this point with my rusty Zerg and low-level Zerg and probably end up winning this one. I mean, he's got 3-3 on the way, which obviously means Hive Tech. No medevacs are out. He is just rallying down, so goodbye to Alive. Looks like he will be going to that loser match, as I think pretty much everyone predicted, probably including himself. So Soulkey looking completely unbeatable there. Pretty much perfect play. Definitely one of the favorites for this tournament. If he doesn't hit the top 4, I will be absolutely amazed, but I guess that could be just a bracket thing, you know. I'm not sure exactly how the brackets are being seeded after this. So, definitely one of the favorites, though. Could end up winning this tournament. That would be a lot of money won in 1 week. Alive, can't be too happy with that. He's, you know, TLO and Stefano are not pushovers. Definitely going to be 2 hard players for him to actually have to try to go through. But Soulkey played almost flawlessly in that match, and Alive, there were some flaws there. Like that third base, I really didn't like. It's just so strategically insignificant. And then when he's actually focusing on drops when there's that many Mutalisks out, why you focus on drops is to draw the Mutalisks out of position so that you can go somewhere else. Because you know the Mutas are going to fly over and kill the medevac because it's so valuable. So when he's doing those, he did 2 of those in a row where his army didn't move. And you need to do both at once. It's a multitasking thing. You want to draw the Zerg all over the place. So he should have, when he was doing that, started pushing out other locations, because a lot of supply goes up to deal with the medevac, and then the rest of your army, because you only have 10 supply up there, and they have maybe the whole flock of mutas, which could be, in that game, up to 40-ish supply of mutas at points. So then you suddenly have maybe a supply advantage in a battle somewhere else. But he just kind of sat there, and he was behind, so maybe he thought he couldn't break anyways, but that was his only real chance to come back, and he didn't even really utilize that. So I'm not sure who's going to get out of this group with Soulkey, and Soulkey isn't out yet, of course, but it'd be pretty hard to see him not go through. But it could be someone other than Alive. So, guys, we're going to go ahead to a quick commercial break. So, thanks for watching. We'll be right back.